Hey, what's going on?
What's up, football fans? How you doing?
What a good Sunday into Monday for me, and a good Monday for Billy Boy. Uh,
Yep, we'll get to that in a sec.
yeah, Danny Boy, Billy Boy, with you, always with you on a Monday. A little late today because we had work to do and all that stuff. But
Yeah, I had a doctor's appointment this morning. Reg, I got some bad news. You're gonna have to put up with me for another 30 years.
and you know what? That's okay with me.
I'm gonna live.
Exactly.
So
Um,
y'all have to deal with me for at least another 30 years.
yeah,
Um,
and this podcast will still be around. We
hopefully.
We appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for always joining us. And like I said, we'll recap all the football stuff from Sunday. Um, we still got a game tonight, but no one cares about that.
Well, it's gonna be a good game.
It is, but I don't care. The Jets won. That's all I care about.
Jets won. Reggie's good for the next week.
Well, 3 days because the Jets play on
Oh
Thursday.
yeah, they're playing Thursday night this week.
Yeah, against the first place, and depressing to say it, but first place, New England Patriots. I want to kick their ass so bad on Thursday. I really do. Um, so we'll get to all the football in a second, but before we get to all the football stuff, the Giants broke the internet, finally breaking the internet as
Yes, they
they have
did.
officially relieved Brian Dable of his head coaching duties. Um, this is obviously after they blew another 10-point lead that they had, another fourth quarter lead that they had, and um, Giants lost Sunday to the Bears. Obviously, you knew it was going to be pretty messy when Jackson Dart went out with a concussion, but Dable out. And Bill, I'll let you talk here because it was much needed.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, this was much, much needed. Um, I want to read the official statement from John Mara, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
The New York Giants had announced today that head coach Brian Daboll has been relieved of his duties and assistant slash interim head coach, assistant head coach slash offensive coordinator Mike Kafka will serve as interim head coach. We spoke this morning about the direction. This is a quote from John Mara and Steve Tisch. We spoke this morning about the direction of our franchise on the field, and we have decided that at this time it is in our best interest to make a change at the head coaching position. The past few seasons have been nothing short of disappointing. We have not met our expectations for this franchise. We understand the frustration of our fans, and we will work to deliver a significantly improved product. We appreciate Coach Dable for his contributions to our organization, and we wish the Dable family all the best in the future. Well, I want to say this was unexpected, but no, this wasn't. This wasn't. This was a team that I just want to give my insight that of this era, or should we say error, over the last four seasons. Brian Dable, I think the problem is Dable just peaked way too early. Dable peaked way too early. And what I mean by that is we had that good season, the 22-23 season, when Dable was when Dable led the Giants to the playoffs, and we're thinking, okay, this rebuild is way ahead of schedule. We're good, we're good. But then the second year though, Reg, this was the Giants team we expected to see the first year. Agree or disagree?
Well, yeah, you expected growth. You have good first season where you're taking a lot of risk. You were able to get a lot out of Daniel Jones. You were able to get to the playoffs. You beat a good Minnesota team. Like there was a lot of promise with Dable coming in as a head coach. Then he shows you that promise with a great first year. And then year after year after year, the Giants and their management have made the wrong decisions.
No,
Obviously,
absolutely.
you look, you had to stick with Daniel Jones after that great year because he showed you something. But then the year after that, Jones regresses, but yet you still stick with him. And then you had your great running back in Saquon that you decided to franchise tag, which was a mistake. All these things that the Giants should have gotten ahead of. Obviously, if you knew Saquon was going to be gone, then you should have got rid of him, traded him, whatever, get some value out of that. You knew Daniel Jones wasn't going to be the true guy, so you should have gotten out of that sooner. And then ultimately, what we had was a Rocky type situation where, again, Giant management and Brian Dable were making such awful decisions.
They
And
were,
it led
bro. They
to
were.
and it led to a massive, massive, massive hole. And the coaching was not that much better.
And you know what? Like, here's the thing. I was saying this for ever since the season ended last year. If you kept telling me, is Dable gonna be on the hot seat? Dable gonna be on the hot seat? Dable gonna be on the hot seat? I had said didn't I did say this, Reg? You remember me saying this
Yeah.
from the end of the season to draft day. I had said between that Dable's if Dable does not step up this season, he's gone. He's done. Bye bye. But here's the thing, though, Reggie boy. Here's the thing. Bri- Brian, once they drafted Jackson Dart, what did I say? Jackson Dart, congratulations. You just bought Reggie and you just Reggie. No, no, you always get another year with me, Reggie boy. You always do. Um, but you bought Brian Dable another year. We congratulate you. Because I was thinking, okay, now Mara, Tish, Shane. Well, Shane was probably in on this. You know what? I wonder when his ass is going next.
I think he's next.
I think
He
he's
has to
next
be.
too, but let me focus on Dable for a second. We'll talk about Shane in a minute, okay? Um, I'll talk about Joe Shane in a minute. But with Brian Dable, you're like thinking as soon as he drafted Jackson Dart, this is probably telling Tish and Mara and all of them, hey, you gotta give me at least another year so I can develop this kid. So I can develop this kid. You gotta give me another year here, John. And Jackson Dart, I thought he was gonna save Brian Dable's career for a minute. Agree or disagree?
Look, the reason why we all said that Dable is going to get some time is because he finally had his guy. But let's be real. Like, this was also a possibility if the Giants were to absolutely falter throughout the season. So, it was always going to be about whether or not, you know, Dable was going to actually properly develop this kid. And look, he's done a very nice job at Jackson Dart. Again, he got injured against the Bears. Look, he's done a very nice job. There's no question about it. But at the end of the day, the Giants are still losers. They are a losing culture. And it's not a good look on the head coach. You had to make this change. And on top of that, you know, Bill, we talked about how he had such a terrible relationship with Wink Martindale, his defensive coordinator. And then he brings in this guy, Bowen, who has been an absolute disaster on defense. There was no way you're going to allow Brian Dable to hire another defensive coordinator after this catastrophe. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. It's the fact that he's 21, 41 and 1, including the playoffs in his entire head coaching career. Um, it's the fact that the Giants continue to be losers under this regime.
The whole
And
thing, even the
the
whole
team,
thing with Dart with the tent.
Mhm. Well,
This is
that
just
too, but that's not
incompetent.
as big a deal. That's not as big a deal as the losing culture that he brings.
No, I agree. And you know what? And we're gonna tie this into yesterday's game where the Giants lost again.
Mhm.
You want to know something, Reggie? I got a little puzzle here for you. Oompa loompa doopity doo. Bill's got another puzzle for you. Okay, what do the Dallas game, the Giants Cowboys game, the Giants Broncos game, the Giants Saints game, and yesterday's game against the Bears,
I
what do
already
they
mentioned
all
it to you.
have? What two things do they all have in common, Reg?
I already told you. It's those 10-point deficits that those teams had, or 10 plus, whatever the fuck it is. I know for the Bronco game it was larger, but like, the deficit that those teams had against the Giants, and they were able to come back and win the game.
I was watching it yesterday, but I was kind of in and out. But I'm like sitting there thinking after they blew this, I'm thinking if Dable is not fired tomorrow, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Like this is a and I liked Dable. I liked Brian Dable at first.
Yeah,
But this is a coach who is just sheer incompetence.
yeah,
And how Mara kept him around for this long is beyond me.
yeah. It was time to go. It was time to go. It's the fact that the Giants are losers, the fact that ever since that playoff run in 22, they really haven't really had great success. Giant management has made awful decisions regarding the team, and I know Dable was a part of those decisions with Joe Shane. Don't act like he wasn't. And you know, changing of the guard at defensive coordinator, you can't allow him to to hire another defensive coordinator. It's all those things. And to make matters worse, and this is probably what's pissing off the Giants management more, the top dogs, the fact that Daniel Jones was on his lap. He couldn't do anything. But then he goes to Indianapolis and Shane
Now
Steichen
he's
figures him
rocking.
out.
Now, all I gotta say is if you're Joe Shane right now, I told you we'd get to Joe Shane. If you're Joe Shane right now, dude, you ought to be shitting your pants.
You know, and he
You
look,
know, you know what, you know what? If I'm Joe Shane, you know what's going through my mind right now? Holy shit, I'm next.
and he is next. Let's be honest.
And like,
Do you want Joe Shane to hire another head coach?
because don't forget, not just here, Shane and Dable worked together in Buffalo.
You know,
Dable was OC, Shane was assistant GM.
like,
So,
let's be honest. Do you want Joe Shane to be overseeing this next phase of Giants football? I wouldn't.
well, they let other GMs oversee it, even though they shouldn't. But no, after this, I guarantee you that Steve Mara, I'm sorry, John Mara and Steve Tisch, before they met with Dable, they probably told Joe, "Yeah, guess what? Your buddy's getting fired today.
Yeah.
Your buddy's getting fired." I'm sure they had to tell Joe Shane.
Joe Shane is not staying. I would not do it. I think that
Or
would be
they probably wanted him to pull the trigger, and they probably told him either you do it or we do it. And
no. This is on Giant management. This is on Mara. Look, I'm not. Today is
and if you don't keep your mouth shut, you're next.
yeah. By the way, Giant
Actually, no,
owners.
you're already next. So you know why don't we just fire you now and get it over with?
Yeah.
But
By the way, the Giants already said that Joe Shane is going to remain in his position and
for
will lead,
now,
and will lead the search for a new head coach, which I don't understand. I don't
on
understand
what
why.
planet, Reg, on what planet does this make sense on?
I don't understand why. Like, you know,
No, they're saying that for now. They're saying that. I guarantee you, they're gonna say that now. So the Giants could show everyone because this is what John Mara is good at. Apparently, John Mara is good at fooling the New York media. Say, see, everything is stable, everything is good, but I'm sure they're saying that now. Go, yeah, Joe's staying on. He's gonna help us lead our head coach search.
yeah,
Meanwhile, the backdoor conversations that John Marr and Steve Tisch are having. Oh, he
but
is so done at the end of the year.
but I'm wondering why Joe Shane. Like, is it because of the roster? Because the roster's terrible. I mean, like, why is he getting another chance?
You know what I don't understand in
It's wild.
NFL? You know what I don't understand in sports, Reg? Any other job, and you know what? I was actually having this conversation a couple weeks ago with my good friend Justin, but we were talking about baseball. Dude, any other job, if you screw up, we're sorry, you suck at your job. We're gonna have to let you go. Here, incompetent, stay another 10 years. And here's another $50 million. But, bro, dude, Reggie, my brother in Christ. Like, why? John, Steve, my brothers in Christ. Why? Why are we keeping Joe Shane on? This is ridiculous. If my mindset would be, guess what? Dable goes, Shane goes. We either keep both of them or they both go. But right now they're saying that okay, Shane's staying on as GM, but people take that with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Okay, he's staying on now on November 10th this year of our Lord 2025. He's staying on now.
And I hope you're right, Bill. I really do hope you're right because this would be a mistake if they decide to actually allow this man to oversee another head coaching hire and another draft. It's the same bullshit that the Jets did after the 2018 season. They fired Bowles, they kept Maccagnan. Maccagnan goes through a draft, he hires Adam Gase, only to be spurred by said Adam Gase and Christopher Johnson, the chairman at the time while Woody was in London, in the Trump administration. So, um, like it doesn't make any sense. If you're gonna start new, you can't start with the old people. Who's gonna want to be with Joe Shane?
Exactly. If this keeps going on, like this is just dude, this is just a prime example of Giants incompetence. Actually, no, calling this incompetence is an insult to incompetence. What do you think, Reggie boy?
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Like
Um,
this is just we all know this. John Marr and Steve Tisch are a bunch of morons. And it's basically, we just fired our head coach. So let's keep on the GM who told us to hire head coach, who we ended up firing. On what planet does this make sense on? He's got a. I'm sorry, Joe. Joe, we thank you for your service, but it's time to go. Time to get someone else. Time to get a new GM. So now, here's the thing. I was just talking to my dad about this. Mike Kafka is going to be interim head coach for the rest of the year.
yes.
So, okay, I don't want to think about who's going to be replacing Dable right now. I don't want to think about that now. Part of me wants to think about it, but I don't want to think about that at the moment. And my dad and I were talking about, is it time to make the call to Chapel Hill?
While Wellington Mara was not a part of the search for Tom Coughlin, he approved the hire, right? So we can officially say that Tom Coughlin was a Wellington Mara hire.
Yes.
Since John Mara took over the reins after his dad died, since then, he has hired the following: Ben McAdoo, 13
Magadud.
14. Steve Spagnuolo was in an interim spot 1-3. Pat Shermer, 9-23. Joe Judge, 10-23. Brian Dable, 20-40-1. This is the regular season stats. Straight up incompetence.
That does not sound like success to me.
Straight up incompetence. I believe that's what, like two playoff appearances in that span?
Yeah, because McAdoo, he got them to the playoffs once.
Yes.
And then with Daboll, they got to the playoffs once. I'm still never gonna forgive you, McAdoo.
No, this is 10 years, Bill. 10 years of incompetence. And if you really want to count, look, again, Tom Coughlin was a great coach. I'm not going to put a
Oh, he
lot on
was.
Coughlin because I know the tail end of his time with the Giants wasn't great, but the Giants looked way more competent. They looked like an organization. They just had a lot of people getting older. Obviously, Eli was getting older. Um, and they found that they were having a hard time replacing a lot of the Super Bowl players, right? So for the most part, Tom Coughlin was a very, very competent coach, and the locker room was always in great shape. The past 10 years have been a disaster for the Giants.
They have.
And there's no going around that.
They, no, dude, you're not wrong.
Mhm.
So now there is a lot of pressure under Mara and Tish. You better get this right.
Well, it's going to be a jointly with the ownership and Joe Shane. So it's those three that have to get this right.
I'm saying this right now, and I just said it again. I'll say it again. Joe Shane will not be choosing the next head coach. They're saying that now that he's going to stay on, but you know.
But then my question is, why say it? Why announce that Joe Shane's going to remain in his position and lead
Would you like
the
an
coaching
answer?
search?
Would you like an answer?
But if they're not going to do it, then what's the point? This is
Would
the,
you
the
like an
crap that I'm
answer?
talking about.
Would you like an answer?
Sure.
They're doing this so they're doing this so things can look somewhat stable at the media.
Bill,
Because
it's not going to look stable if
what do we
let's just
always say
say.
here, Reg? The Giants are the Jets with better PR.
Mhm. But Bill, this is gonna make them look worse. If they're saying now, yeah, Joe Shane's gonna be part of the whole thing, and then come January, oh no, we changed our minds. Is there a
Okay.
plan if that's the case?
Is there what if you know what you're right, if that's the plan, it makes them even look worse. I would have
Is
just
there a
said,
plan?
okay, listen, I don't want to poke on John Moore too much because,
I
his
know he's going through a lot, but this is football team.
how much you want to bet if you ask him, do you have a plan? Going, no, we actually don't have a plan. You know what? If you guys just straight up told us you don't have a plan, I still think you guys are dumbasses. But you know what? At least you're honest. And Don't pretend you have a plan in which you honestly probably don't. If just come out and say, yeah, we don't have a plan. We have no plan. We have no idea what we're doing. We're both idiots. But you know what? I will give you credit at least for being honest. You're idiots, but you're honest idiots. Which I don't know what the hell's going on with this team.
I don't know either. Like I don't get it. Um.
I don't get it either, dude. Welcome to absolute stupidity.
Now. Mike Kafka, obviously the interim. Who's going to be the offensive coordinator? Do you know yet?
I do not know at this moment, to be honest.
He might continue to be the
He
OC,
might.
which would be a disaster because then that's never a good look. You need someone to run that offense. So, um, that's the Giants. Going quickly on the game. Giants look pretty good in the first half. Jackson Dart is torturing the Bears defense. Bears offense looks atrocious in the first half. Um,
He is
and
actually the first NFL quarterback in history to have a rushing touchdown in 5 consecutive games.
yeah, Dart's tremendous. But and here's one thing that everyone's talking about: the ability to not protect himself. He's an aggressive player. He always wants to make big plays. But the fact of the matter is, he got a concussion because he was being reckless out there.
No, he was.
You know, um, and of course the second half disaster. Really, a fourth quarter disaster, but we'll call it second half to
For
be
disaster.
awful, awful.
Absolute disaster today.
Yeah,
Like this is terrible.
yeah.
Like all I can say is that I hope Jackson Dart's okay. And getting back to Dable, I wonder what this is going to bring. Again, I don't want to play the horse race politics yet.
Well, I'm assuming he'd be back as a coordinator somewhere. I just don't know where. Um, I think he's a better coordinator for sure.
You know what? Sometimes, actually, most of the time, that's what happens. There's these offensive, defensive coordinators who are great at being with their respective coordinators, dude.
Yeah,
But once they become head coach, they suck.
yeah. It's definitely one of those things. That might be the case for Dable. That's the state of the Giants. Um, it's funny because Dable was supposed to speak today around 1 o'clock, and he ended up not doing that. We obviously know why now. Um,
Okay, do you think maybe it was Mara and Tish came out and was like, okay, we fired him. We begged him for his service. Now we're just going to sit here for the next hour and explain how total dumbasses we are and how we have no plan on what to do. We're keeping Joe Shane. Like, if they just said we're keeping Joe Shane for now, then that makes things a little more ambiguous. You know what I mean? Like, okay, are you gonna fire him at the end of the year, or is he staying on? Or if you just said for now, that would say, okay, well, we don't know if his future's certain. But if things get worse and they fire him, then Mara and Tish are gonna be the two biggest idiots in New York sports.
yeah.
And but we're gonna sit here and pretend we have a plan. Reggie, guess what? We have no plan. We're just gonna sit here and pretend we have one. We're gonna sit here and pretend we have one.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, and go fishing. So anyway, yeah, so that's the state of the Giants. They lose yesterday. Dable's gone. Dart's probably hurt.
yeah. I expect another quarterback next week. unless somehow, some way, Dart passes concussion protocol. Though after that big hit, I don't trust it. Like
We don't know yet.
he looked lost there.
Hey,
Um,
Reg, paraphrasing Billy Joel, this team is a dumpster fire.
yeah. Um, I would not start Russell Wilson. That guy
All
looked
right, Jameis, time to
he looked
play.
awful. Yeah, anyone but Russell Wilson, please.
So anyway, yeah. That's the state of the Giants. Dable gone. We wish Dart the best, and team sucks. But with Mike Kafka, I think my dad said the best. Nothing's gonna change.
Yeah, this is just to fill out the rest of the year. Look, there's 7 games left for y'all. Like, let's get it.
All
It's
right.
over.
Now, moving on to the other action. In Berlin yesterday, the Colts beat the Falcons 31-25.
Hmm. Yeah,
Daniel Jones went 19 for 26, 255 yards and one touchdown.
an overtime victory. Jonathan Taylor scoring that touchdown to give the Colts the victory. Um, you see Daniel Jones with that bloody lip at the end of the game.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, he hurt his lip and there was all blood all coming out from his lip and it was spilling into his teeth. He looked like a fucking monster out there. Like it was kind of disgusting, like a vampire and all that stuff. Um, so comeback victory for the Colts. They improved to 8-2. Um, I'm very happy for Sauce. He gets his first win officially of the season. I know he wasn't a part of that Jet win in Cincinnati. Um, he almost had a pick, but he dropped it. So, suck it, Colts. But no, Colts continuing their winning ways. They're tremendous. They are a tremendous team. Um, valiant effort by the Falcons, though. I will say that. We already talked about Giants, Bears. How about this? The
Oh,
Buffalo,
I bet Mike Ripken is throwing a party today.
massive one. His Dolphins beating up the Buffalo Bills, 30-13.
And Nate Moser's probably in hiding.
Oh, what a disaster. Um, HN had 2 rushing touchdowns. Thank you. I'll take those fantasy points. Um, Waddle had 5 receptions for 84 yards. Josh Allen was the best passer on the day. He did have 2 touchdowns. However,
Oh, great, as a however.
he did fumble the ball and lost that fumble and threw an interception. So once again, Josh Allen having trouble taking care of the football, and um, the Buffalo Bills, they were lifeless all day defensively as well. It was just not a good day in Miami. Um, they fall to 6-3 on the season. They're 2-2 on the road. So something tells me that the Bills on the road, when they've looked pretty bad. Um, by the way, all those 13 points that the Bills scored were in the fourth quarter, just to make matters worse for them.
So, yeah, if you think your day is bad, you could be Nate Moser.
Yeah.
So, how much you want to bet Mike Ripken's probably throwing a huge ass party right now?
Uh, big time party. Look, he has nothing to lose, so
And
you
we weren't invited.
it's all good.
On
It's
Ripken.
not like he throws ragers.
But come on, we get a chance to shit on Nate Moser. That's the best part.
Yeah. Well, maybe we
Oh
get
no, we love
invited
you,
to
Nate.
Wishbone Shotgun. Maybe we'll do that on Wishbone Shotgun.
Maybe he'll invite us to Wishbone Shotgun. We can all take a crap on Nate Moser.
Jesus
Poor
Christ.
Moser.
What a disgrace. Um, in Minnesota, the Ravens look out for Baltimore
They're back.
27-19.
They are back.
Final score. Not a terrible day for the Vikings. JJ McCarthy did throw two interceptions. Um, that they did lose a fumble. I mean, it wasn't a great day, but it also wasn't horrible. Um, he did have a touchdown pass, but Lamar Jackson, man, all of a sudden there's life in Baltimore, leading his team to a big time victory. They're 4-5 on the season, and slowly but surely getting back into the race.
Yeah, I think Lamar's back. I think we're in good shape.
Yep. How about Mark Andrews getting into the action? He had a receiving touchdown.
Yes,
Um,
he did. Thank you for those fantasy points.
yes, Justice Hill had a rushing touchdown. Derrick Henry had a great rushing day. No touchdowns, but he did have 20 carries for 75 yards and a big time offensive performance there.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, also moving right along. Reg, my good friend.
Yes.
Someone's got something to celebrate today.
This thing, a win. W.
Two in a row.
2-0 since the 0-7 start. Love this win. Look, it was ugly. The Jets, we figured out this thing, Bill. When the Jets win, it's going to be ugly wins. And you know what? I am okay with that because at the end of the day, this is about winning. And winning is a good thing. It's okay. I'm not worried about my draft positioning. Who gives a fuck about that? Let's be real. Who cares? The Giants found Jackson Dart late in the first round. Patrick Mahomes was top 10, but he was not number one. Josh Allen was top 10, but he was not number one.
Tom Brady was,
Sixth round pick. So I'm sick and tired of this. Oh, well, you're ruining our draft positioning. No, man. The Jets are going to be in position to pick any quarterback they want, to get any quarterback they want. Look at what's around them. The Saints, the Titans, the Browns are all worse.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I didn't do this last after the first win. I didn't do this after the first win, but because that was also the day that Nick Mangold died, but so out of respect, I abstained from doing it. But Reg, they actually won a game. They actually won a game. Hold on, let me re-lyric that. They actually won two in a row. They won two in a row.
It's a great day. It's about winning. And I'm glad that these players are finally playing for Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn, who the last couple of games have actually coached his team very well. Again, it's going to be ugly. It's fine. Let it be ugly. Let it. Justin Fields did not have a good day, but it's fine. Brees Hall did. He had a great fourth quarter. Get that big time game winning touchdown early in the fourth. Gave the Jets the lead for good. Defense was solid, holding the Browns to only 3 points in the half, the second half. Um, and once again, the Jets complimentary football, making plays on defense, making plays on offense. I think they used Brees a little too late, for my liking. Look, Brees is your best offensive player. He's your best offensive playmaker. If you give him the ball, he will make plays for you. So feed him the ball more. That's my only critique with Glenn on these last two wins. You got to lean on Brees. Obviously, you can change things up. It's okay to change things up. But, Brees is your main guy. So involve him and the Jets will be fine. Um, I'm excited for these two wins. The Browns are fucking terrible, dude. I'm sorry. I just gotta come out and say it. The Browns are worse. Um, And just to show you how bad they are. The Jets were lining up on 4th and 4. They were not going to play any. They're not going to snap the ball or anything. Um, they're going to take it down to under a minute and then take the 5-yard penalty for delay of game and then punt the ball to the Browns. This dumb shit, Cam Thomas was actually he actually had a pretty solid game. This dumb shit, Cam Thomas jumps off sides. Justin Fields did nothing. Jumps off sides, and that's how the Jets got the first down to win the game. So just shows you how bad they are. But anyway, Bill, continue.
But no, they actually no, they and you want to know something? Remember on Friday I picked the Jets. I'm like, mark that day in your history book.
Mhm.
I picked the Jets and they won. How scary is that?
It is absolutely crazy. By the way, moment of silence for Nick Mangold. Before the game. The Jets also have a picture of him on the back of their helmets and stuff. So it was a very nice day at MetLife. Well, it wasn't the cloudy skies and rainy, but still very nice
A
weather.
nice tribute to Nick, though. Nice tribute.
Yeah.
All right. So the Jets, they actually won two in a row. They won two in a row. They actually won a game. Okay. Now something that's gonna make Reggie not so happy. The first place New England Patriots beating the Bucks 28-23.
How awful is this? The of course the Patriots are 8-2 on the season. And of course I get this game wrong. But I mean, what sucks even more is that they're starting to get cocky now, New England. You know, they're getting that swagger back in New England, and everyone's bought into it. Drake Mays looked pretty good. Like, he's solid, man.
Now he is.
Um, 2 touchdowns, and again, just an absolute offensive juggernaut. Uh, Travion Henderson had 14 carries, 2 rushing touchdowns, 147 yards. Another big time guy. Uh, Kyle Williams with a touchdown. Stephon Diggs with a touchdown receiving. Baker Mayfield had 3 touchdowns on the day. Clearly not enough because this Patriots team is unbelievable. Makes me sad.
The old Jets Pats days are coming back, aren't they?
I hope I'm hoping it's a fluke, but I have a big thing it's not going to be. So yeah, it's officially back.
Okay, so next on the docket, the New Orleans Saints. They actually won a game. They actually
I'm,
won a
I'm telling you,
game.
who cares about draft positioning when the Saints and the Dolphins win games, huh? Let's go.
Let's do it. 17-7. Saints beating the Carolina Panthers.
Hmm. Yeah, big a big time win for New Orleans. Good for them, good for the fan base. Another big
Like,
time win, good for the fan base. The Houston Texans over the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were actually, I think they scored like 26 unanswered points to win this game. Davis Mills, baby. Him coming alive, filling in for the injured CJ Stroud, 2 touchdowns on the day, 292 yards. He actually looked pretty good. Um, but yeah, 26 unanswered points. Uh, I think all of them in the fourth quarter to win this game. Um, Jacksonville falling to 5-4 on the season. Big time win for Houston. They're 4-5 now.
yeah, isn't that insane?
Yeah, shaking things up in the AFC playoff race. That's for sure.
Yes, it's shaking things up, all right. Shake it
Mm.
up. Yeah, shake things up. But anyway, All right, sorry, I'm all over the place right now. Okay, the Seattle Seahawks beating the Arizona Cardinals 44 to 22.
Yeah, easy win for Seahawks.
Easy win.
Too easy.
The Rams beating the Niners 42 to 26.
I thought it'd be a more competitive game, but clearly, um, the lack of players for the Niners showed up big time. Rams were all over them offensively.
And now and this was an interest. Okay, the game itself was not interesting, but it was interesting for other reasons.
Yeah.
The Lions beating the Commanders 44 to 22. Oh, did you see that at the game yesterday? They
Mhm.
had a special guest there.
Yeah, he was jeered big time.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, President Trump was at the game was at the Commanders Lions game yesterday.
Yeah, which is pretty rare. Not a lot of sitting presidents go to regular season football games. So, it was pretty rare.
And he
Um,
was in the booth too.
yeah, he was in the Fox booth with Kenny Albert, and was it? I think it's Jonathan Vilma. He's still doing. So, but yeah, very interesting to see the president out at Northwest Stadium, and like I said, he was greeted with a mix of cheers and boos. I think the boos were way more than the cheers. Um,
I believe so, my friend.
yeah, I mean, look, Donald Trump is, whether you like it or not, Donald Trump is very charismatic, very popular with people, whether you like him. And look, a lot of people at the same probably didn't like him. He's a popular dude, and people are very interested in what he wants to do. So,
And doesn't he want the stadium named after him from the
yeah, that's
one?
another thing that we read over the weekend, that he wants the new stadium to be named after him. That's not gonna happen, my buddy. No, 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 no. The you let Josh Harris and company name that stadium, and they're probably, I would think they're gonna have a naming partner. If I'm being real with you, and I know this is kind of weird because um his son's in the administration, but RFK Stadium, why not? You know, no naming rights.
No, no. Reg, hi, how are you? First of all, congratulations. You've just been interrupted by President Trump. No, they need to name the stadium after me, Reg.
We're not gonna call it Trump Field or Trump Stadium or whatever it
No,
is.
it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be huge.
It will be huge, I'll tell you that much.
And your partner, Bill Murphy, he's terrible. He's awful. He sucks. He just really sucks. Him sitting here and his stupid impressions and his stupid jokes. No one likes that guy.
You know,
He's ter
but you
he's
know what,
terrible.
Mr. President? Given your current mental state and the fact that you doze off all the time, I wouldn't want you as the my co-host. So I'm
Well,
very
guess
much
what?
in line.
I'm replacing him. Bill is terrible. He's awful. I'm
Yeah.
deporting his ass back to
And
Ireland.
when people see that you keep dozing off like Mike Francesa, then you know people are gonna be like, why is this guy the co-host? Like,
I got browbeaten by a president again, didn't I?
uh
But
always.
anyway, anyway, but no, yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. And isn't isn't like Washington D.C. doing the first isn't is doing the draft this coming year or the year
No,
after?
I think it's, I forget the date, but I think it's like within the next couple years. Yeah.
If he's still in office, can you picture the moment when he's coming to the podium? I have been asked by Roger Goodell to be the first pick.
Yeah. I have a very strong feeling JD Vance is going to be the president. And when that comes, because slowly but surely, and look, I don't mean to get political. So slowly but surely, this guy's not going to last. Like, uh, I think JD Vance is going to be the president by the time that happens. So
See what happens.
yeah, man.
Anyway,
But by the way, this was an easy win for the Lions. The Commanders are terrible. Um,
these
same old
Lions
song
were
and
not sleeping
dance.
tonight.
Yeah.
But you know who was probably sleeping? Okay, that's my last joke about him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Chargers beat the Steelers 25 to 10.
Yeah. Terrible night for Aaron Rodgers. This makes me very happy because it's proving my
It
point.
makes Reg so very happy.
Because it's proving my point once again. Aaron Rodgers is not the same quarterback he was in Green Bay. He was awful. He is not making the Steelers any better than what they are. They face good teams and they stink. They face bad teams and they're world beaters. They're bullies, but they're overrated bullies. That's the reality for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the more I watch it, the more it vindicates me and all the other Jet fans that were out on Rodgers from the very beginning. And again, this is not about him as a full overall player. We all know Aaron Rodgers is going to go to Hall of Fame. He's an incredible quarterback overall, but in this day and age, he is not a top quarterback. The Steelers, everyone was guaranteeing the Steelers in the playoffs. Are we guaranteeing it now? I'm not. Not with the Ravens all of a sudden coming alive.
I agree.
So suck it, Aaron. And it
From our
was so
disgruntled Jet
beautiful.
fan.
Yeah, and it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful watching him fumble the football, throw a bunch of stupid ass interceptions. What else is new? What else is new?
Yeah, what else is new, Reg?
Yeah. Um, Big time victory. Justin Herbert had an incredible day too. And then of course tonight we have the Eagles Packers. The A really good matchup here, like Bill said earlier. We do have a good matchup here. Again, I'm not going to care about it because the Jets won. But this is if you are really into football, this is actually a very good matchup to watch.
I'll probably be watching tonight.
I'll peek at it, but like again, like all I care about is my team, and my team won. So uh I'm having a good Monday.
Me, not so much. But
But you know what, Bill?
also,
This is a great day because and look, the Giants are still messy. I think they made a mistake with Joe Shane and stuff. But you're gonna get a new coach, and preferably he's gonna be an offensive guy because that's what Jackson Dart needs, an offensive tool, right? So whatever Shane, Tish, and Mara decide to do, understand that it's for the best. And you know it too. You know what had to happen.
good, good.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, and also some sad news happened over the weekend. Former NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue has passed away.
Yeah. After Pete Rozelle, who was the big pioneer in the NFL, uh, he took over the reins and did a very solid job as commissioner. So we all of our thoughts, prayers, and all the good vibes sending over to the family of Paul Tagliabue. A big time commissioner for the NFL, did a tremendous job.
And
Um,
he reached a lot of TV deals with his
mhm.
time
Yep, NFL made a lot of money, a lot of money.
with ABC, CBS, NBC, TNT,
Mhm.
ESPN, and Fox, which brought in $4.4 billion.
Yep.
And he actually settled peace between the players and the owners.
Mhm. Yep.
So, and but you know what's one thing I think he'll always be remembered for?
Wow.
9/11.
Yeah.
When he did not want to make the same mistake as his predecessor, Pete Rozelle. I did a whole thing on this 2 years ago. Go watch it. It's on our YouTube channel. Um, when 9/11 happened, Paul Tagliabue had made the decision to postpone games that week, which would have been week 2 of the NFL season.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to make the same mistake as his predecessor, Pete Rozelle, who still decided to play football games on the week of on after President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963.
Yeah.
So I've always said Rozelle was criticized for that, but Tagliabue was praised for how he handled 9/11.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything else here on
Just real quick, we didn't mention this last week, um, but a tragedy struck within the Dallas Cowboys organization. Um, Marshawn Nealon, the young defensive end, um, died of what they're saying was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Um, and I was mixed about bringing it up. I'm gonna be real with you. Like,
okay.
I was thinking about it. We had a lot to get you that day. I was thinking about it. I I, I didn't want to say the wrong thing. Is basically what I'm trying to say. But now I'm ready to talk about it because these subjects are very touchy. They're so hard. But Bill, again, we gotta check in on these players, these athletes overall, because mental health is really starting to become a big thing across the board, especially for those in the public eye. Um,
And it's sad for it's I want to say it's sad because I just want to say from my own personal standpoint, I actually lost a very good friend to.
yeah,
I had a very good friend of mine who took his own life a couple of years ago, so I understand the pain of all that. I I can straight up say it, I lost a good friend to suicide, so I know I understand the pain of all that.
and again, all I have to say is make sure you check in on our people. The NFL obviously has to, if they can find ways to increase the needs for counselors and all that stuff. I know they're probably therapists within organizations, but make sure that they have all the resources necessary to um to address these things. So it's a tough world out there for professional athletes.
Oh, it is.
So just a reminder of that. And obviously, his family are in also our thoughts and prayers. And I wish I can really do more than just that, offer thoughts and prayers. But right now, like, I think we should start a movement. Like, let's make sure professional athletes or anybody, any celebrity in the public eye, make sure they're okay. You know,
Absolutely.
It's like, Alex Rodriguez even said that therapy saved his life when he was, going through all the nonsense. Obviously, his issues were more self-inflicted. He was being an idiot, but therapy saved his life. So make sure we get they all get access to that. And on that note, the Sport Insanity Podcast, episode 460. As always, we are sponsored by the Dugout of Millwood. We appreciate them for sponsoring this show and all of our shows across Sport Insanity Network. Please like, comment, subscribe to our all of our content. Hit that bell for notification.
It's amazing. This content is absolutely amazing. You should like it.
Yeah.
Like it.
And you'll know when we go live or when something gets posted.
You gotta hit
Um,
that bell.
yeah, always visit our website, sportscitynetwork.com. Check out all of our podcasts in audio form, wherever you get your podcasts. Me and the old ops guy. It's gonna be an early morning edition, but we will be live for Sixth Man Up. Um, on YouTube and, of course, on the Sports City podcast page, wherever you get your podcasts. Um, we appreciate you. We love you.
And we thank you.
We thank you. Let's go, Knicks. They win another game.
They won another game. They won another
They're
game.
11 straight against the lowly Brooklyn Nets, who are just awful. That's always good news. And then, of course, Thursday night, me and Bill will be previewing the Jets and the Patriots in Foxborough. I would love nothing more than a road win. I know it's not going to happen, but I would love nothing more than a road win.
Yeah, me, Dan, and hopefully some other friends.
Hmm.
Because friends are fun.
Yes, we're praying for more friends.
We like friends. So
Yes.
yeah, hopefully join us for that on Thursday night. It's gonna be great. And from for Danny Boy Reginald, I'm Bill Corpus, Crispy Murphy. Stay safe and take care.